Hi, so today is lesson 16 in A Course in Miracles, and the idea is that I have no neutral thoughts. So the lesson pretty much sums it up for us today, that we just have to remember today that we have no neutral thoughts, that everything our thoughts create, a lot of theologies and a lot of philosophies believe change your thinking, change your life. So we know the reason that we change our thinking and change our life is because our thoughts create our life. And so if we want to change our life, we have to change these thoughts. Now, a lot of times we fall asleep to the power of our own thoughts. And so we don't take responsibility for them, and we say, how did this happen to me? How did I end up here? And it's the law is cause and effect. You're experiencing this classroom because these are the thoughts that you've been harboring. And that's okay. There's no blame and there's no shame. But we know that the way out of it today is to recognize that our thoughts are not neutral. And that at any time we're thinking thoughts of love or thoughts of fear. And that is what is creating our experience. So we'll just go into the lesson. The lesson 16, Suite 16 of A Course in Miracles, is I have no neutral thoughts. The idea for today is a beginning step in dispelling the belief that your thoughts have no effect. Everything you see is a result of your thoughts. There is no exception to this fact. Thoughts are not big or little or powerful or weak. They are merely true or false. Those that are true create their likeness. Those that are false make theirs. So again, Jesus is talking to us about how God creates everything and how ego makes. There is no more self-contradictory concept than that of the idle thought. What gives rise to the perception of a whole world can hardly be called idle. Every thought you have contributes to truth or to illusion. Either it extends the truth or it multiplies the illusion. You can indeed multiply nothing, but you will extend it by doing so. So basically it's saying that love can be extended, but fear cannot be extended, although it can be shattered into a million places, so it looks like it's being extended, but it's not. It's just multiplying into little nothings. Besides your recognition that thoughts are never idle, salvation requires that you also recognize that every thought you have brings either peace or war, either love or fear. So every thought we have brings either peace or war, love or fear. That's how important our thoughts are. And we have to be responsible for our thoughts and not think, I can probably have these little crucifying thoughts or these judgmental thoughts or these jealousy thoughts or these thoughts of lack or brokenness or limitation and have no ramifications for them. That's just not the truth. It never has been, never will be. So today we're entering into the agreement that yes, we are responsible for the thoughts we think in the same way that we're responsible for the experience that we're having. And that it can be either love or fear. A neutral result is impossible because a neutral thought is impossible. There is such a temptation to dismiss fear thoughts as unimportant or trivial and not worth bothering about, that it is essential you recognize them all as equally destructive but equally unreal. We will practice this idea in many forms before you really understand it. In applying the idea for today, search your mind for a minute or so with eyes closed and actively seek not to overlook any little thoughts that may tend to elude the search. This is quite difficult until you get used to it. You will find that it's still hard for you not to make artificial distinctions. Every thought that occurs to you, regardless of the quality that you assign to it, is a suitable subject for applying today's idea. So once again, we are being invited not to make any exceptions, to just put every thought through this experience, through this exercise. In the practice periods, first repeat the idea to yourself, and then as each one crosses your mind, hold it in awareness while you tell yourself, this thought about blank is not a neutral thought. That thought about blank is not a neutral thought. Hey, Owen. Come here. Here, sit down here.
What's up?
I'm recording something. I'm recording a lesson that there's no neutral thoughts. But come down and introduce yourself. This is my son, Owen.
How you doing, everybody?
He had a job interview. How did it go?
Went well.
Yeah? What'd you do?
Just hung out. There was punch and pie.
There was not punch and pie.
Maybe next time.
So, good job. Rode your bike?
Yeah, it was a nice ride.
See? That's thoughts of love, not fear. You're very handsome. Right? Thumbs up for my son being handsome.
Alright, have fun.
Alright. Thanks for stepping in.
No problem. Enjoy the thing, everybody.
So, my thoughts about this is not neutral. My thoughts about that are not neutral. As usual, today's idea, I just love my son so much. He's such a good guy. I just continue to have positive thoughts for him, that he finds all of the good that he's so deserving of, that all of our sons find that all of our sons and daughters find their peace and their joy, and remember that they're extensions of God's love. So, just sending thoughts of love. As usual, today's idea, use today's idea wherever you are, whenever you are aware of a particular thought that arouses uneasiness. Following forms is suggested for this purpose. The following forms is suggested for this purpose if you ever find yourself in a place where you're having uneasy thoughts. Simply say to yourself, the thoughts about blank is not a neutral thought, because I have no neutral thoughts. And that kind of gets you at least into the awareness of what your thoughts are around this person, place, or thing, and how you might want to readjust them. So for 4 or 5 practice periods are recommended if you find them relatively effortless. If strain is experienced, 3 will be enough. The length of the exercise period should also be reduced if there is discomfort. So that's the lesson for the day, lesson Sweet 16. Thank you for joining me. You can go ahead and subscribe to the channel, or leave a comment, or give thumbs up for Owen getting a job. And these lessons are so beautiful and so powerful, and I know that the beginning lessons sometimes feel like, what are we doing here? But they do build upon each other, and they do help to create at least an individual experience of peace. And if we all maintain our individual experience of peace, and if we all nurture our individual experience of peace, only then will we truly be able to have world peace. We're not here to save the illusion. We're here to simply save our peace of mind.
It's not that unusual.
So we can actually save the world.
When everything is beautiful.
God bless. Have a great day.
Just another